Teresa is a professor of philosophy of law and director of the chair of human rights and rights of nature at the University of Murcia in Spain, with a teaching and research profile in theory of justice and human rights. And her scientific focus lies on 4 main sections: ecological justice and nature rights, social justice and social rights, and legal feminism and children's rights. So with her experience in using rights of nature in the Menor case, I'm very excited to hand it over to Teresa now on our last day of PEAT Fest 22 with the topic of rights of nature. So Teresa, if you are ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Well, hi everybody, and thanks to these wonderful ladies to invite me to this interesting event. Then now I'm talking about the Menor right that we have been fighting to get it, the social movement, for 2 years, and now it's done. The Congress just passed, give the approbation to the law last July, and then it's a law, but to be obligation must be passed the okay from the Senado. Now it's in the Senado until next week. Then next week, Senado say, okay, we hope. And then will be in the newspaper, official newspaper for the new law. The name is Boy. And then it began a new way to right of nature in Europe. Menor will be the first ecosystem with rights. And then now I'm going to tell all the history, okay? The right of nature is coming from a new paradigm of justice, is ecological justice. It's not the same like environmental justice, it's not the same that climate justice, but it's together. It's like one step and another step. And also is in a very good relationship with social justice. Social justice in the last century and in the next, in this century, we began with a big social movement about climate justice, environmental justice, and now we are in ecological justice. Okay. Because we are in a new era that the scientists say Anthropocene. Anthropocene means the new geological era, that the new point is that the alteration of the ecological order is due to a human, to the economical model of progress. And then the intervention from human, I mean, from the economic way to progress. Some scientists speak about capitaloceno instead of Anthropocene, because it's not just human. Human by themselves, we can just pass the limit of the planet. We need one big technology that still the order of economic model. And then is why we are in the Anthropocene, is the geological term or concept, and also capitalocene, that means that it's not only the human. For example, indigenous people is not the same way that in Occident. Then is capital Ucen to understand that it's not just people, it's the structure of production and the model to development. And then we need a new model of justice. Environmental justice is very important. Climate justice is very important, but everybody know that now, after Paris Agreement and after COP and COP and COP, the last in Glasgow, we are worse and worse and worse. We don't stop the climate change. We don't stop the crisis of the biodiversity of desert. We are worse and worse and worse. Now, this summer, we have big problem with the river, with the water, with the extinction. And then we need a new model that change from the roof. And the roof is that from the 19th century until now, the model, economic and social and juris, is just right for company, right for corporation. In the 19th, take the economy and say, now you are in power, in the center, you have right, you are the chef. And then at the same time, people, we have rights, yes, but we have a right also with consumidor. Human rights are increases. The refugees camp is full of young people, full of women. When people from the south try to come to Europe, then stop. Death in the Mediterranean Sea or in refugees camp. Then human rights are increases. Social rights are increases also, because social rights are into the constitution, into the model of social democracy, but people haven't any action to go to the court to say, I have a house, I have a job. No, you can do it for the fundamental right, but not for social right. Then we need a paradigm that change all from the roof. Then you say, okay, people can, it's important, have right. Now, just 1 month ago, people have right for one safe environmental, but for human, okay. Corporations have right, but now we need right for nature. And then this is the new paradigm. Ecological justice say, we recognize that the human are in one relationship with nature, and then nature must be the center, because nature is in crisis, and we know the roof of the crisis, and then nature has a law, a natural law, and the law and the economy must recognize this. And then what happened with the ecosystem that around the world now are in crisis, in collapse, like Mar Menor. Where is Mar Menor? Mar Menor is the largest salt water lagoon in Spain and in the Europe, in general, in the Mediterranean Sea. The area is 135 kilometers, and the depth is maximum 7 meters. It separates, you can see in the map, from the Mediterranean Sea by one long arm. You can see here, we call La Manga. La Manga means that's the arm of Mar Menor. And Mar Menor communicate with the Mediterranean with 5 channels, okay? For several decades, the development of region of Murcia is the same pattern like in Europe and in in Occident is the development is not think about our environmental or ecosystem, the value of the ecosystem, the right of ecosystem, what need the ecosystem. No, the way to think is just get benefit, very good benefit in the region, without listen the nature. Then for 40 years, from the 17, is just important damage from Menor coming from urbanization, from mining, from just all the structure around Menor is to get, like I said, benefit. Then the mining, the urbanities, and in the last time, it's intensive agriculture and intensive just pig farms, hundreds of pig farms, just in the basin around Menor. Then also the traditional agriculture is not this agriculture. Is because we are a desert area, and now we are like a very wet area, and we are not wet at all. We are desert, semi-desert, and then just fertilize just to get no 1 time, 4 times a year, just vegetable for all Europe. And then the farm, pig farm, never we have this. And then all of this go to Menor with the, we say ramblas in Spanish. I mean, like the basin is destroyed, the original geologic, then now when it's raining, all the contamination is going very quickly to the lagoon. And then now it's strange because now we must be very happy when it's raining because it's very important. But now when it's raining, we are like, oh, disaster. Now all go to Menor lagoon. And then this is why Menor lagoon collapsed, because it's just 40 years take all the residuals from the economic development go to the lagoon. Oh, this is in Spanish. I forget to translate in English. Okay, it means that this lagoon is very important. The ecological value is recognized for a lot of law, international law, European law, Spanish law, autonomic law, all of law say that is very important, and then people know that it's very important. And then why don't listen the right of nature is the question. For example, well, a lot of international law, like in Venice, for example, is Ramsar, like Menor, special protection for animals, for fauna. Yeah. And then what happened? In 2019, one extreme eutrophication, a massive growth of algae caused by the shortage of nutrients, mainly from agriculture, turned the water of the lagoon green and killed 85% of the seagrass. And then at the end, just the fish can't breathe, no oxygen more. And then they jump to the beach to kill themselves. And then it was a big catastrophe because people in this moment try to go to swim. And then they can see the disaster. In this moment, in October 2019, I was in United Kingdom, in the University of Reading, just study the case around the world that the ecosystem, like Bar Menor, began to collapse. Then they get right for the ecosystem. Then I study the case of Atrato River in Colombia. I studied the case of Whangarei River in New Zealand, and then I was studying this. Why? Because all the way from ecological justice that I began to study in the 80s of last century, my first book about that, it was in the 90s. Then I was waiting just the way from a justice paradigm to the law. And then when reading university, the Center of Climate Justice called me to invite me to go to study just the law. Then I was very happy. And then I was there. And then my student called me and say, teacher, this is a disaster. Could you study that also in reading university? But it was the time that I must return to Murcia University because began the new course. Then I communicate this disaster to Reading University, to the Center of Climate Justice, but then I return to Murcia. And then when I returned to Murcia, my student asked me to study here, the possibility to get right to Mar Menor Lagoon. Then we began into the clinic of Faculty of Law. We studied the possibility to get right for Mar Menor Lagoon, because now I knew the way that I have studied in Reading University. And then at the same time that my students was very worried, and then they were thinking in the legal new solution, began a social movement in Spain. And then they invite that scientific teacher and people to explain what happened in Mar Menor and new solution. Then I went to one of the class near Mar Menor, and then full of people around that. And then I speak about the possibility to give Mar Menor right. And then one of the mayor of one of the town around Mar Menor listened to me, then say, I won't fight for that. And then all the people in one moment say, we won't fight for that. And then began a big movement to get right for Mar Menor Lagoon. And then at the beginning, just in a few months, we get right for Mar Menor in Los Alcázares, in a little town. But then we went to Murcia, to the assembly, to regional assembly. The regional assembly say, no, we can't do that. Then, like in Spain, it's in the constitution that people can move to get a new law. But it's two ways. One way is the comarcal way, that we get it, but then the assembly in Murcia say no. And the other way is go to the parliament. And then the same day that the mayor of the Los Alcázares went to the assembly in Murcia region to say, we get in the municipality the right for Mar Menor. Now we need that you say yes. And then the regional assembly say no. The same day we went to Madrid. This is in the parliament. And you can see the Minister of Environmental, she is Teresa Rivera here. We didn't know that Teresa Rivera was there to say, oh, this is very interesting. We are very proud of you. We didn't know nothing about that. Just I knew the law and we are ready to go with our law. In this law, I mean in the national way, we need just a commission from people, and then we are the commission. 8 person, 5 women, and 3 men. This is a student. This is a student also in the group that we study the possibility. This is teacher from institute. And this is Ada, and another one activist. And this is one student from, but he's lawyer now. He study now the possibility to give right to the nature in the doctoral thesis. And he's Eduardo Salazar, he's lawyer in the, and also he's teacher in the university. And then we are, and this is Teresa, he's activist. Then we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women and 3 men. Okay, and then we went to the Congress to say we are here. Here is the paper for ILP to say we can present that. And then we need 500,000 signatures to get the law for Mar Menor, that the parliament could say yes. Before the parliament say yes or no to the law, we need 500,000. But the problem is that we were with COVID, and then we can move. And then when we try to go to ask for signature, the police say, no, you can't do that. Then it was like crazy, but we say, we do that, we do that. Then we get also the sign for the president of the government. We go every event, every place around Spain to ask for signature. This is Pedro Sanchez, the president, and then we get it. Also, before the end, we asked the Congress for more time because we were in COVID and it was very difficult. Then they give us 3 months more. But at the end, we need it. It was like crazy, a lot of signature, because in the other picture that you passed very quickly, it was in the last August. Can you go to the other picture? No. This, no. After that, wait. No, before. Okay. This is in August. We finished the time in October. In August, another time. Fish can breathe, then jump to kill themselves. Then people was crazy in this moment. We didn't need explain the meaning of right of Mar Menor anymore. Just people say, I want paper to ask for signature to get right for Mar Menor. We need to go to parliament 3 times to ask for more paper for signature, because it was like 100,000 every day. Then next. Okay. And then we get it. Okay. Then we get it. We didn't need the 3 extra months. We get it. But we don't get 500 signatures. We get more, 639 and 286. But more than that, because when we returned to the university, it was full of box that we haven't time, because we say one day, it's enough, we go now. But then people like was coming from all Spain, also from the Iceland, from Canarias, from Palma de Mallorca, then they can stop in this moment. And then when we return, we say, okay, we just look for the signature to say people thank you. And it was more than 700,000 signatures. Yeah. And then this is in the censo electoral, where they must say, okay, it's enough. And people who work there, they were so impressed to receive us with all the box, very perfect, because also in the university in the night, we take all the signature to say this is good, this is not good, this is repeat. And then it was with a lot of teachers, also from mathematics, come here. And then every box, you can see a graphic. And then in the office, say, oh my God, what is that? And also, we are all the commission and the Meerjungfrau, the Sirena from Menor. When we are coming, then the Sirena says, can I go with you to Madrid? We say, okay, come on to the bank. And then we go full of signature and also the Meerjungfrau, the Sirena. Yeah. And then in this moment, finish the social fighting and is the time for the politics. And then all the politics say, yes. From the right, from the left, from the center, only one party, Vox. I don't know if you know Vox, but it's the 50, you can see here, 52 people. It's the new party on the right, is Vox. The only party I say no. The rest say yes. And also we were there in the parliament, just like visitor. They invite us, just the commission. And then we are on the top of the parliament. And then when finished, we can see the picture, all the parliamentarians just stand up, look up and say. Then it was so emocionante, no? For us, yeah, because the politics recognize the social movement and say, yeah, you get it. And then the General Secretary of United Nations, in the last two reports, they mention Mar Menor Lagoon. It was in 2020 when we get the right of Mar Menor in the municipality that I explained you at the beginning in Los Alcázares, okay? But then after crash in the regional parliament. But it was when we won in the parliament, in the municipality, in the parliament of Los Alcázares. Then the United Nations called me and say, you get it? I say, yeah, we get it. And then we are there in this report. But after crash, and then next. Then when we won it in the parliament, in the picture that you can see that all the parties say yes. I think is the first sign that all the party in democracy say yes in this so many parliaments say at the same time we are according with that from different parties. And then the assembly say, oh, you get it in the parliament. They say at the moment they say yes. We need a little more time for another to finish the process, but at the moment say yes. And then they invite us to go to New York to the program of Harmony with Nature and explain with the other country around the world that get right for nature from different continents to explain. And then this is the secretary of University of Murcia, the general secretary. This is the mayor of the Alcázares when we won the first time. This is me, and this is Eduardo Salazar, another teacher that he was into the commission and also into the chair of human rights and right of nature. And then we went there all together to present the. In this moment, it was a project of law from the parliament. No anymore initiative popular because the parliament say yes, and then saying to a purpose of law in this moment. Yeah. And after that, last July, 15th of July, the Spanish parliament say definitely yes. All the parties say yes. Only the same box say no, but doesn't matter. And then now we have the law of Mar Menor law, but now we need that the Senado say yes. Now it's in the Senado until next week. Then we hope next week the Senado say yes, and then go to the Boletín Oficial del Estado, State Official Bulletin, to be vigente, I mean, to take the law like working, you know, obligatory, I mean. And then now, that's on July, when we get the law in the parliament, in the last report of General Secretary of United Nations, recognized, you can see Mar Menor, just with a Trato River and Wangani River, the river that I was studying in 2019 in Reading University, like one example, but in another continent. And now we have in our continent, in Europe, in Mar Menor. And we hope it could be the beginning of a lot of ecosystem in danger, doesn't matter, lagoon, mountain, forest, just to get right, because they have right, they have harmony to live, and then it's no sense that the economic company have right to do everything they want, and the base of the life don't have any right, because it's not that we give right, it's that we respect the right that they have by themselves. Thank you very much, and I think the animals in Mar Menor will be very proud of us. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry because my English is not very good, but
Thank you, Teresa. You did really well. We weren't sure how much you do in English or not, so it's really appreciated that you really did your best, and I think we could all follow. Yeah, it was a really nice presentation. Thanks. Any questions so far from the audience?
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
Because it is a very long law process, I wanted to ask what the exact date will be when this whole process will be through. I think you mentioned something like it will now go to
Senado.
Yeah, exactly, like some last stages, but what is like the expected date it will be through?
Yeah. Next week, 8th of September, I think it must be Monday's 5, Thursday, no? Finish the time for Senado to say something. Okay? At the moment, the normal is that Senado say yes, because if the Congress say yes, and then it's no sense that in the Senado, the same party say no. Never happened that.
Yeah.
Only could be Vox, but don't matter. Also, if Vox say that, it's no any problem.
Yeah.
Have the majority, the big majority. But also, if something happened that it could be very strange, then and it's not enough majority, because also if some senators say, okay, then by myself I say no, but also we have the big majority, then don't matter. But could you imagine that in a moment it's a revolution in the Senado and say, we say no, then must return to the Congress. Then the Congress can just say, why you say no if we say yes.
Yeah.
It's just longer, you know, because if Senado say yes, or just a little senators say no, but it's not enough, then quickly go to the BOE, official state bulletin. And then after 20 days, I think, is law, you know. But we say that is law now because when the Congress say yes, it's a law.
Yeah.
But it's not obligatory.
Yeah.
To be obligatory must be in the BOE. And then to be in the BOE must say this Senado yes. But normally, when the Congress say yes, the same people, because it's the same people, it's the same party, Congress and Senado, then Senado say yes. And then, but like lawyer, because I have been lawyer all my life, now I can still like lawyer because she's one incompatibility from to be teacher in the university full-time and at the same time lawyer. But I know the law.
Yeah.
I'm not only a philosophy of law. And then I know that the Congress is the center to say yes, but could be also that the Senate say, no, this is impossible. And then return to Congress, and then the social movement began, but not began from the beginning, just from the Congress. If Congress say yes, why now say no?
Yeah. And so then it will be next week,
more or less. Yeah.
Will it be the next week that it's through?
Next week, then Senado say yes, then it's a time that Senado just sent the answer to the Congress, and then blah, 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 and then go to the official state bulletin. And then I think in October could be, because we are in September now, and then it's not just today I say yes, and then next day is in the newspaper, in the bulletin.
Yeah, and just
October, I
One
think.
quick question: will it be the first rights of nature in the
Europe.
world or Europe, or what will be the
Europe.
in Europe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you are interested to know how many countries have right, then you can go to Harmony with Nature, and then you can see
The
all
list.
of them. But in Europe, it's a big social movement. For example, in Holland, in Denmark, in Germany, I have been there with them, also the Embassy of North Sea, that they are near to get right for Baden Sea and also for North Sea. And also in Italy. In Italy, I have been with you in Venice about peatland, but also speaking like now the possibility to get right to Venice Lagoon.
Yeah.
And also in Italy is another two big movement about Mediterranean Sea. Now, I think next month in October, I go to Palermo. The University of Palermo invite me to go there to the Biennale to prepare all the process for give right to Mediterranean Sea. This summer is horrible, very, very warm Mediterranean Sea. That means that a lot of spice, they can't live anymore. And also the problem with people that try to come to Europe and they dead in the Mediterranean. This is horrible. Is just to say no more deaths in the Mediterranean Sea. No more refugees camp in Europe. No, because they are coming because they can breathe also, the people.
Yeah.
And I think if they can breathe, if they can support in their country, Europe takes something from them, or economy takes something from this country, and then now why I and you can go to Africa with a visa in the same day, go and return, and they can come. Why? Why big boat full of tourists that is okay can go, or merchant ship came to Europe, and also if they have problem with the material, all the port open, and when a patera that is no impact, any ecological impact came, then if they come to Europe, then go to refugees camp. Why Frontex, the police that have a lot of technology, why is not a priority save people? And then I think the best, the most important when we are talking about right for Mediterranean Sea is right for all the life in the Mediterranean, but human right also. Don't forget that.
Yeah. Thank you. Then I'll Bianca and Frankie also had some questions. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa, again for presenting and giving your time to us. I was wondering if you were involved in actually writing the law, or if you weren't, who was?
Yeah, I have writing the law. Yeah.
How was that process? Would you be able to share a bit more on what it looked like and how it felt for you?
In the way to write the law, you mean?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, what that process looked like.
Yeah, okay. I have been in the same subject for 40 years. Then when I began to write the law, I know more or less, but all the time I have had people around me, commission and people, and also people that is known to the commission, but lawyer, judge, a lot of people that I know in all my life, like lawyer and like jurist, that all the time I say thank you. All the time I ask and they help me when I need some help. But to write a law is not so difficult, because when you are a lawyer, you can write a law. Like if you are a doctor, you can just save people. It's not very difficult, but also never alone. I have been never alone. I have been all the time with a commission, and also with a lot of people that they don't like that give the name, but they help me a lot. Also, there are a lot of people that say, no, you are crazy, you are a crazy woman, and they write that it's very bad, the law, and they send letter, people from the university to the parliament just before the votation to say, don't say yes, because they are crazy, you will be in prison. Yeah, but we are, and then we get it. And
Was there a process also of
possible to do something important alone? No.
exactly. Did you also have to revise it a lot? Like when people from the commission were like, I don't want this in the law, do you have to do a lot of amendments as well?
No, just to say could be in this way better. Then we discussing, we ask another people that they are in a high level about law, and then we think clear. No, it's this way. Also, when you are writing a law, it's not the moment to ask to people that don't know nothing about law. They can say, I want that. And then you know the way, like professional. A lot of professionals say no. Also, the inform from the municipality and the lawyer from Assembly in Murcia say, no, no, this is very bad law. This is impossible, what we say. Is you say that I'm lawyer like you, and I say you say no, I say yes. Then if the politics, because they inform also if it's coming from the lawyer into the parliament, is not definitely. The politic can just read, but it's no, the politic must say yes or no because the inform say that about the law. And then when we went to the parliament, the lawyer of parliament, they were two women. I say, thank you from here. They say, this is great. But in the other parliament, in the local parliament and in the municipality, the lawyers say, no, this is crazy. But then if the politics say, okay, you say it's crazy, but the people, 100,000 of people say that this is possible, and nothing is impossible because it's model, it's in the mind. Then if you can think in this way, if you can write in this way, we have another people that can do that. And then we need young politic and activists and politics that say, if people say yes, then any jurist can do that? They say, yes. This is here. I have been studying from 40 years this, no, alone, never. But you can read a lot of books from the last century, from the 19th, about the ecological justice and the possibility to have right to nature. But it's not good for the system to say yes, because they have the power. The consumer, the model, to get a lot of things every day, to think that the nature is infinite, that we can just take, waste and go. And this is the model where we live. and the big company are in connection with the politics. And then it's not easy that now the nature have right. What is that? But it's not possible. Why is not possible? Is the same things that at the beginning of the last century and for a lot of centuries say, woman right? This is crazy. This is crazy, destroyed. Woman can think. Woman can do nothing. No, not right for woman. Why not? Because then it's easier for people in power that woman haven't any right. Indigenous people is the same. Right for indigenous people, they are no person. Then it's easy to take everything from indigenous people because they haven't any right. And then now is the same for the nature. But all is modern. The only thing that is real is the harmony of nature. The natural law that is not a natural law that Santo Tomas or one elevate people say, oh, I get the law. This is the law. No, 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 no. This is in your mind. But the reality is that the planet have a natural law. And now it's destroyed. And then we must just recuperate this natural law and respect, because we are part of this natural law. But this is a revolution. Yes, it's a revolution because we have been in a big mistake from century. I think that human rights are the most important, separate from the nature, but not all human rights. Just white, just man, and then little by little, in the last century, not a long time ago, now woman, now different color, but no nature. But why no nature? The forest is no life, the river is no life, the mountain is not right, it's no life, it's no sense. It's the same when they say, oh, you are radical, the idea is revolutionary. Yes, but we are very conservative. We are going step by step. Now all the humanity and now the nature, because we can live within nature. We can breathe, we can eat. Now a lot of illness are coming from the ecosystem because they are ill. Also COVID and a lot of pandemic that are coming. And then it's just a real change. It's not a Green New Deal just to change fossil for renewable, but then full of renewable, and then the same company change the color, and then now all the panel must be on the how you say, on the roof, but no on the land, that we can get aliment, that we can get food. But also it's not possible that still in the same way the humanity, the welfare state is finished if we can save the planet and save the future generation. This is finished because it's wrong. If we try just the same way, but now with renewable, but the renewable need a mineral. And then we go to Bolivia to take lithium, then we change petrol and gas for another mineral. It's not a way. It's just to think that this way of life in Occident have been a big mistake. And now we know that. And then we need change, but a radical change. It could be difficult, yes, but very most difficult will be don't do nothing, because we have the climate change now. When I go to the refugees camp in Europe, it's full of young people like you, like me, my children, like my students, full of women. And the report from the United Nations say that million and million and million are coming. And then it's not very important just change the clothes every day or just take and don't think what happened with the waste. No, this must be finished. And young people must think in another way.
Thank you, Teresa. I think we all agree. And I think there's one more question from Frankie.
Thank you, Teresa. I'm very inspired by your talk and also just the people power that you're representing through your words. I'm like, I can feel all of the signatures. And I was wondering about that process, about gathering momentum and gathering like people's voices and signatures and like getting that kind of ball rolling in such a strong way. Like, how was that? What was your media campaign like? How did you approach that, like getting enough people to know about the campaign, especially with COVID, which sounds like the worst time to do it, and you had to get real signatures, right? Like paper signatures. So I'm just wondering like how you did that.
It was amazing. It's what a magic. Now we know that the lagoon is magic also. I tell all the history in my book that I finished now in Germany just a few weeks ago. And I think it will be ready in a few months. One chapter is just about the movement. And then because it was like magic. And then I have read it, that people know that it's true. It's no one invention, it's true. At the beginning, we were 5 crazy women that shouting in the street, sign for Menor right, sign for Menor right. And then take table in the square. And then the police came and then we go very quickly. It was the beginning. And then every time, more people, more man around us all the time, but the majority woman, and also no classic social movement like Greenpeace or Ecologistas en Acción. They are very important, but no, this is a new movement. Normal people, normal women that understand what happened and fight. And then one day, a group of young people say, this is a disaster, Teresa. It's impossible to get 500,000 yachts in this way. You need one organization. I say, we haven't any money, we haven't nothing, because also the chair of human rights and right of nature, we have a money from the local government to finance, but then the government take the money. When we began to fight for Menor, say, no. This is just to fight for right of nature, but not for Menor. What? How do you understand that? Then we haven't any money in the movement, in the chair, nothing. Then these people say, okay, without money, we do that for you. And then at the beginning, we have just domestic thing, you know, a website, and they say, oh, this is the disaster. Everyone with one website, with one symbol, we might just have one thing. And then they began, and they do a website, a logo, and like this group of people, they study in the University of Murcia, and then they get a contract with the Faculty of Communication, and then with a student, they had ideas. For example, one idea, go to Mar Menor with a boat, and then one scientist just study the current of Mar Menor. And then when, with this map, just take the sign of Mar Menor, and then they get it. And then we say, we have the sign of Mar Menor. Now we need your sign. And then everybody liked this idea. And also when the cyclists from Europe come to Mar Menor, then people go with flag, with just right on the road, ILP Mar Menor, and then the municipality just get off, and then the people put off, and then another movement. And then the faculty of the different faculty just organize event, and also the chair international event to know what the meaning of Mar Menor right in the international context. Also in the art faculty, a lot of exhibition. And then just people ask, and then more and more. And then every time that Mar Menor cry, then people just transform the cry of Mar Menor to fight for right of Mar Menor. And then it was grown and grown and grown and grown.